3 feet, 3.5 feet away from the wall. So when you massage later, your leg, you have room. So face the wall. And steady place. Steady place. Do we sell cushions here? Oh, it's very good to have a set of cushions. So that serves as a reminder. Every time you walk past your room, that's my sacred place. That's why in the Zen tradition, Chan tradition, we actually do prostrations. We actually bow to our cushions. Why? It's not because it's made out of cotton or buckwheat hulls. Because this is a place where we transform ourselves. This is our practice. The seat of wisdom. Right? Puti Dao Chang. So we actually prostrate to that. And that has a significance. When you prostrate, when you treat a space as sacred, and you prostrate to it, I guarantee you, when you sit there, your whole demeanor will be different. It's not they're not because there you just have to do it. You sit down, you sit at this place. This is the place where you practice. Full dignity, dignified sitting here in meditation. This is the place where I face myself. Right? So, a special place designated in a room. That's most ideal. Not on a bed. I'll talk about that later. And why on the floor? I'll talk about that later. When we get to tools. Okay? Times. Morning and evening. The principle is good night's rest. So which usually means morning. Have a good night's rest, morning. Before the commotion of the day begins. You may have to adjust your time before the family member or your roommate, partner, whatever, wakes up, you sit. Evening means just make sure the conclusion of the day you end it with clarity. That's a very, very wonderful habit. So begin the whole day with clarity, you end it with clarity. Right? If you do this for 21 days, you will develop good habit. Now, how many of you plan to do this? Please, now, let me ask this. How many of you don't plan to do it? Raise your hand. Okay, good. You promised, right? You're going to do it. All right. Morning and evening, that's the principle. Other aspects is such as consistency, duration, times to avoid. Consistency means we do it every day. It's hard to develop a habit when you're going to do it sometime. You do it, sometimes you don't. Like when you brush teeth. You don't say, no, today I'll brush it at 10 o'clock. Or tomorrow, I'll skip it. Next day. You have to brush it every day. You don't have to think about it. If you have to think about it, you come up with some excuse, I guarantee you. If you have to think about doing something, then it's the distance from my bed to those cushions are really long. The TV is much closer or something. So you have to justify it, then you're in trouble. So get up, wash yourself, just jump on the cushion. Do your yoga exercises, and then just sit. This is your time, your appointment in life. Very important. Duration. For beginners, 25 minutes, 20 minutes. Now some of you are thinking, I think I have 25 minutes, 20 minutes. You have 25 minutes, 20 minutes. Later on, you'll see what I mean. When you have a proper method of practice, proper concept of practice, and you actually have the right tools, all this, you will see that 20 minutes go by. Some of you, I've never sat 25 minutes straight. Today you will. And you'll see how fast it goes by. When it's a proper method, proper aim, and the right attitude to use it. So don't be afraid. It goes by very quickly. Right. Next is times to avoid. Based on the principle of when you are well rested, the opposite would be times to avoid, when your energy is depleted. Right. Or sometimes when you've just eaten breakfast, lunch, stomach's full. So all the blood is focusing on here, digesting the food. What happens when the blood is circulating here, digesting the food? Lack of oxygen. You fall asleep. So not effective. Okay, so give yourself half an hour to an hour after you have digested the food. Then you sit. Okay? You all have time to sit, right? And as for the duration, you can use an alarm clock. Nowadays, there's alarming cell phones and stuff. Adjust the volume low. You don't shock yourself out of meditation. You hear, I have a friend who downloaded this app. It's like this temple bell. It's so nice. He has a very fancy phone, iPhone, whatever. So he downloaded this temple bell app. So every time they enter the sitting, it's like, whereas the old days, my teacher used to go ding, But nowadays you can have all kinds, So that's how you set the duration. You don't want to look at the clock sitting in. 3, 2, 1. You do something, right? Just leave it to the time. You have your own timer. When you come to group practice, here we have group practice, a little advertisement. Group practice here is very good because you are practicing with like-minded fellow practitioners. So someone else is keeping time. They'll ring the bell very gently, give you towels if you're cold, baby you. You can really benefit from kind of a group environment. Next, tools. Quite important, okay? Cushion, mat, towel, clothing, alarm. The very reason why this was invented, and this thing actually dates back to Shakyamuni Buddha. When he sat under the Bodhi tree, no, he didn't go out and buy one of these. What he did was he used thatch and binded it and put it there so his buttocks can be raised. Do you know why? He's prepared to sit down and not get up until he reaches enlightenment. He better make the seat pretty comfortable. So he made this something. This is the origin of this. Why is it you need to make the buttocks higher, prop up? Anyone tell me? Yes, to straighten the spine. It's like when you're sitting at the edge of the table, very easy to straighten your back. What happens when you sit on a soft sofa? It kind of just goes down. And yet, these meditation books says, you have to straighten the back. So most people mistakenly force themselves to straighten the back, which means their lower back is tense. When the lower back is tense, listen carefully, your stomach will never be relaxed. When your stomach is tense, your diaphragm will not lower. When the diaphragm will not lower, your breathing will be shallow because you'll breathe through your lungs. And when that happens, wandering thought. Guaranteed. And every once in a while, you have to do this. You feel like you're out of breath. You feel like you have to take a deep breath. That's a sign that your breathing is constricted. So the best way to do it is your buttocks are higher than the knees. And how to do that is you use a round cushion. And when you sit, you don't sit on like you're sitting on a sofa, smack in the middle. Only your buttocks on the cushion. Otherwise, if you sit back your thigh on it, your thigh will fall asleep. So half or maybe just 1/3, only your buttocks. Now when you come to the meditation hall, the round cushion is placed in the center, right? When you sit, you have to push it to the back. Because next we're talking about the next tool, the mat. The purpose of the mat is so that when you sit, your knees and your ankles are within the confines of the square cushion. Some people sit, they come here in meditation halls like this, and they sit, and their legs are actually on the hard floor. That's not good. That defeats the whole purpose of the cushion here. So when you fold your legs are supported by the mat. And this is because sometimes humidity will come directly from the ground enter into your joints. You don't want that, you want protection. Some people use two of these square mats when they sit. So it feels supported. Right? And nowadays there are more inventions. Do we have a meditation bench here? No, we don't have a meditation bench? Okay.
Want to get some?
Yeah. Those are so helpful. But we have substitutes. Can I have one more cushion? Okay.
This one?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So there are other tools. Towels. You know, a lot of people read in meditation books that your hands should be a few inches below the navel, right? And your thumb. And yet their posture is not, the hand is freestanding, it's not supported by anything of their legs. Say if I sit like this. Now, in traditional postures, I'll introduce several. When you adopt a posture traditionally, your hand is naturally resting on your lap, few inches below the navel. But if your posture is not like this, maybe it's like this, or like this, a little bit looser, there's no support. And people still try to put a few inches below the navel. That's wrong. Because if you do that, your shoulders will be continually tense, holding up your arm. When your shoulders are tense, the vicious cycle begins again. Your abdomen will not be relaxed. Abdomen will not relax, diaphragm will not lower. Diaphragm will not lower, shallow breath. Shallow breath, wandering thoughts. Vicious cycle. So the towel, on the one hand, if your posture is loose like this, or maybe like this, on the one hand, it's to cover the joint, you can use it that way. On the other hand, some people use it to provide support for their hands. Sometimes people have one towel and then another towel here. Other people, because their posture is very relaxed and their legs are stiff, so they're sitting very high, they have to just put a towel like this. When your towel is at the right height, don't think of this as like 小事情, like something trivial. When his hand is at the right height, your shoulder will be completely relaxed. Your body will just settle into this posture. And this you have to adjust because for some of you, your hands are long. Some of you have shorter arms. So you need to find that right height for not only the cushion for you, the right cushion height, or the right thickness, but also right support for your hands. If your hands are the right height, your arms will just relax. Your whole body will be straight. You're propped up, buttocks higher than the knees. Develop an angle, very easy for the back to straight. When your back is straight, your stomach relax. When your stomach is able to relax, diaphragm lowers. Breathing will be deep. You see? There's a science to it. Okay. So that's the traditional tools. Then it is about the clothing. When our clothing is very tight, like a lot of you coming here with jeans, that's not good because it cuts off the blood circulation, pants is tight. So you want to wear something like this. Upper body too, just something very relaxed, clean, tight.